Hello, Ederson Oliveira here. This is the DNN tip of the week, and today I'll be answering a question from a client of ours at DeskPaul. He sent us a note last week saying that they wanted to protect their login page, the login page to their DNN website, to be only accessible to the users within their network. So, how can that be done on DNN? Well, unfortunately, there is no way to do that out of the box with DNN, but it's not that complicated. We just have to do some tweaking on IIS, and we're gonna get there. Have a look, and I hope that you enjoy the tip. Before I show you the DNN tip of the week, I want to pause for the cause here. I want to bring to your attention DeskPaul. DeskPaul is my organization, my company, where we support, we help people just like you with DNN websites that you may or may not need some extra help there. Maybe help troubleshooting certain problems that might be happening with your site. Maybe just entering content. Maybe you are implementing some SEO strategies on your site. Maybe you want to upgrade your DNN site. You want some tweaking done to the theme, to the skin, to the layout, to the look and feel. Maybe you need some guidance to select a good module to do certain things that you want to do. We can help you on that as well. We can help you as an advisor too. Maybe you want to connect with a vendor to do some coding for you, to do some programming, to do some custom module development for you. We can help you with that as well. Again, on DeskPaul, we can help you a lot with various different aspects of DNN for a very low cost monthly subscription. So again, reach out. You know me, and that's my organization, that's my plug. Okay, so here's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to keep the login link available on the DNN site. However, if someone that is not within our network, if someone tries to click on that button, that this login should not come up. Something else should come up in its place. So, just to give an overview of my setup, I have a DNN 911 site running on my local environment. I'm gonna open a second window, and I'm logged in as super user on this window already. So first I'm gonna show what is it that DNN makes available to us out of the box in terms of controlling the login logout, and in terms of blocking people based on their IP address. So let's have a look how we can hide or show the login logout. So if you go to settings, security, then scroll down, you're gonna see this options, this toggle that says hide login control. It can be on and off. By default, of course, it's off, which means it will show the login logout. However, this is not enough for us, because if we turn this on, which means it will hide the login, it will hide for each and every user, and we don't want that. We want the login link to be displayed, however, only be available to internal users. So this is not enough for us. The other option that is available on DNN is to block the site by IP address, and that is available under login IP filters. From here, you can add a new rule that says this IP or this range of IPs will be able to access the site or not access the site. However, that is not what we want either, because we just want to block the login page. We want the entire site to be available to everybody. However, only the login page should be available only to the users within the network. So this is not enough for us either. So how can we block one single page from people outside the network? Well, we're gonna have to leverage IIS. We're gonna have to have a look at some features on IIS that will allow us to do that kind of granular permission setting on the website. So on IIS, which I have my local IIS open here, we're going to be using something called URL Rewriter. It can be installed as a plugin to IIS. And here is my website. To check whether or not you have the URL Rewriter installed, you're going to try to find the URL Rewriter option on IIS interface. When you click on the website, on the right-hand side, you should be able to see URL Rewrite. If you don't see that there, you can install the IIS rewrite by going to this URL, click install the extension, download and install that, and it will work just fine on your IIS. Here on IIS, you're gonna double click URL rewrite, and here we're gonna create a new blocking rule to be able to block the login page. Now, let me show you something here before we get too far. I'm gonna go and open the browser where I'm not logged in, but I'm gonna click on login. If I right click on the top of this window and I click on inspect element or any other option that you may have available on the browser that you're using, you're gonna be able to see the iframe that is being used here in the URL that we have there. This is the login URL that comes up inside this module window. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste that on a separate browser. So this is the originating URL. We have to block any URLs on our websites that have the login name inside as part of the URL. This is what we will need to block. How are we gonna be able to leverage the URL rewriter to do that? Well, let's click on add rule, and under the options of template rules, you're gonna select request blocking. I'm gonna click OK, and under block access based on IP address, match the pattern, and this is where you have to identify what is the pattern of the IP addresses inside your company. Maybe you just want the login to be available to your IP address or to an IP address range. It depends on your particular case. I'm just going to use the example that they are giving here as the pattern match. So I'm going to put 192.168.1. and then wildcard, which means that any IP address that starts with this, whatever comes after that, it will match. And let's just keep the rest as is. Let's click OK. Now it has created a blocking rule very quickly, but I can now go inside to customize that rule. So I'm gonna just double click. Now let's start to modify a few things here to adjust to our situation. Under pattern, which is the URL that will be matched, we're gonna say asterisk, wildcard, login, and wildcard. So whatever URL comes in that has login inside of it, it will match this pattern. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we have to use, let's try to use here an IP address that will be recognizable so I can exemplify this to you. So instead of this pattern, I'm gonna edit this. And because I'm running the site on my local system and I'm accessing the site from my local system as well, my user IP address will be this one, will be the local host 127.0.0.1, or I can put asterisk just to exemplify. So that will match my IP address that I'm using to access this website. And let's leave it at that for now. Let's just click on apply. Let's see how this will behave when I go and try to access this URL, which has login in the middle of it. Let's refresh this. So now it's give me forbidden, access denied. Why? Because if we go back to our rule, if we scroll down, the action, whenever this is matching, the action is being set to a custom 403 status codes, reason, here's the message, and here's the detailed message. That's what it's giving to me. Now, here's the thing that is not right yet. It's because I want this IP to be the only one that is able to access. Right now, I'm doing the opposite. I'm blocking the IP range that I want to have access. I want to do the opposite of that. To be able to do the opposite, I have to go to this rule that I have created, and instead of saying matches the pattern, I'm gonna say does not match the pattern, because I only want the login page to be available to the IPs that do match the pattern. So for all other IPs outside of the range, I want the error to come up. So I'm gonna confirm here, and after done that and click on apply, now I should be able again to, if I try to access the page, it should come up, which is coming, and again it will work as the pop-up as well if I go back there and try to log in. However, if I were to try the sites having a different IP address from the outside, I would no longer be able to see the login page, the login controls in front of me. Now, let's have a look there once again on the inbound rule that we have just created. We can change this. We can customize the action type. We can actually give a redirect. Maybe you want to redirect this to the home page. You don't want that error. You can do just a redirect to the home page. That's great. You can just do something like this, and that's the redirect action that will happen if this rule is matched. Now you might be saying, but Edison, this is great. This is all fine, handy dandy. However, I don't have access to IIS. Maybe you are hosting the site on a shared host environment, and you don't have access to write this kind of rule directly on IIS. How can we do that then? Well, here's the good news. The good news is that when we create this rule, what actually is happening behind the scenes is that it is modifying the web.config file of your website, which I have the web.config open in front of me right now for this website. And it's saving that rule in the web.config under a section called rules. This entire block here is being written inside the web.config, and it's the configuration that we have just done on IIS. This is a match of the rule that we have just created a second ago. Now, what you can do is you can just download your web.config, and you can actually copy and paste this rule there and upload your web.config again. Now you're gonna have the blocking rule on your site, even though you may not have access to IIS. However, a quick note, maybe your hosting provider has the IIS rewrite plugin to IIS, maybe they don't. So what you have to do is you have to copy this, paste it in the web.config, and give it a try. If by any chance you get an error message, and I'm gonna exemplify that error message right here, I'm just gonna break this a little bit, and that's the kind of message that you're gonna see in case your hosting provider does not have this rewrite installed on IIS. You're gonna see a message like this, that there's a configuration broken on your website. So this means that the server, the hosting provider, does not have the module, the IIS rewrite module installed on it. So again, you won't be able to use that if it's not there. I hope this is useful. I hope that I didn't overcomplicate things too much. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope that you find this beneficial, and now you are able to block pages that you may want to block on your DNN website. That's it. Thank you very much, and bye for now. If you like this DNN tip of the week and don't want to miss out anyone, subscribe.